Hey guys, it's Cole and Kelly Watkins here with the Bridge Group eXp Realty, and today we're talking about how to submit a winning offer with a local lender. Allison Celeste with Movement Mortgage. So Allison, thank you so much for joining us today. We're very excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we've used you a lot in the past, and we have our buyers have gotten a lot of accepted offers recently by using you, but also we just kind of want to see what the market's doing, what the interest rates are doing, as well as things that our buyers can do to make sure that their offers are getting accepted, because we know that there's multiple offers on pretty much every home. As soon as it's listed within those first few days, it's getting multiple offers.
Yeah, and we just talked about that 2 weeks ago, just how crazy this market is. We in our market update. However, we just talked about really the inventory, the low supply, and the very, very, very high demand. But you can speak more so to where those buyers are coming from, what the products those buyers are using, and how we can help our buyers with setting up a winning offer.
Absolutely. Well, firstly, interest rates. We've seen a dip back in the market, which is super favorable. We love that. When we saw a 3-week climb of interest rates kind of back to back, that's always just telling us that there's going to be movement continuing through the balance of the year in interest rates. And so now we're sitting right around the 3% mark again, which was great because just last week we were sitting closer to like the 3.25 mark nationally. So now we're back down a little bit more and we're holding. We're not seeing a ton of volatility, which is great. All conversations have led to and pointed towards having interest rates in the 4s towards the end of this year. But as new data is being released, that's indicating that it could not possibly be the case. So that's encouraging.
Okay. Yeah.
We're foreseeing kind of a worst case scenario in the Feds establishing a new floor. And so now it's indicating that that may not be the case. So
that's great news.
Yeah. Amazing news.
And whenever our clients have tried to use the Chase banks, the Bank of America, the Wells Fargo, all of these big banks, or non-local lenders, a lender, we're working with one right now, where she is from South Texas, and we're trying to use that lender, and that lender has no idea what they're doing on this loan, and my client is very upset, very frustrated. So having a local lender, especially someone that answers their phone on Saturday, on Sunday, on the weekends when we really need it, to relay messages or tell the seller what's going on, things like that. That is huge for us, for our clients, and to ensure that the deal is going to get done.
Absolutely. And we have relationships with other realtors in our marketplace and have for a long, long time. I mean, myself, my teammate Kelly, and Paige, we've all been in the industry for a long time out in here in the Houston area. So we have a ton of relationships, and the odds of us knowing somebody that's on the other side of a deal that you're possibly putting an offer in on is pretty high. And so we do have that advantage of being able to pick up the phone and say, hey, so-and-so, it's Allison. Just want to let you know that our buyers, along with the Bridge Group, are submitting an offer in on your listing, and they're a really great buyer and all of that. And so it kind of brings me to my next point is not having a lender that is afraid of picking up the phone and having a conversation with that listing agent and just assuring your validity as a buyer.
In this crazy market, I know that we have gotten multiple offers, not just one, but multiple offers accepted. And that really, really helped out because they knew Movement Mortgage, they knew Kelly Rogers, they knew Allison, they knew Paige, and they had worked with you before. And so they said, okay, I know them. I don't know these other lenders. We've even beat out cash offers because they knew the team that we were working with. So yeah, that's a huge, huge benefit when you're looking to purchase, working with a reputable local lender.
Yes.
And as a local agent, we've seen a lot of cash offers, a lot more cash offers than in past years. So what are some things that our buyers can do to compete with that?
Absolutely. Well, I think flexibility and your price point is a big one. A lot of times people come into us with an idea or a loose idea of what they want their sales price to be. And then they start going around and shopping in that sales price and understanding that they are up against 10, 15, 20 other offers in that set sales price. And instead, if we look at 5, 10, 15K over, and we may be only seeing a small change in your monthly payment of $25, $50, and $75, that may make all the difference in making sure that you find a home that you're able to get an accepted offer in on. And so having flexibility, talking through those numbers and understanding what kind of your max purchase price may be and whether that's comfortable for you, obviously from a monthly payment standpoint, but having flexibility is a huge one, because you don't want to be so stuck on a certain price point and then lose out on it because you aren't able to offer over ask, or you're not even considering properties that are in that higher price point.
So yeah, we've seen offers go way over the listing price, anywhere from $10,000 to $70,000 over listing prices, some of the things that we've seen. So I think it's important to share that with the buyers, that right now, if you're submitting at or under list price, it's very unlikely that you're going to get that offer bid.
Right. And something that Alice and I were talking about before we started shooting this video was, there's another option out there for a buyer that has what we call buyer fatigue, and that's a renovation loan.
Right.
So a lot of the properties that are having, Kelly had one recently that went for $70,000 over asking price, and we did not price it low. We priced it very aggressive in that market for the market value. The market is just extremely aggressive. So a property, now it did have a massive lot, a gorgeous pool, an outdoor eating area, and everything on the inside of the house was upgraded as well. Beautiful, well maintained. Now a property like that, people are always going to be fighting over, and that's where you're going to get this, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over. The other properties that people might not be fighting over or as coveted are the properties that are outdated. They're the properties that need some work, not like investment type properties, but properties that need new carpet, new cabinetry, new all of these things, new paint.
Yep.
And so for a property like that, you're probably not going to have to pay 70 grand over, probably not even 10 grand over, because there's not too much eyes or competition for a property like that. Allison, what does a renovation loan look like? Because I feel like for our clients, that might be a great option to buy the property and then make it what they're looking for.
Right, absolutely. And especially in a time that we just have economic kind of uncertainty as a whole, holding on to your liquid assets and not necessarily preparing to put $30,000 into a home after you purchase it in upgrades or paint or flooring or whatever that looks like, having a renovation loan that ties all of your upgrades and repairs even into the loan amount is a really favorable alternative. And there's an FHA version of that, which is only 3.5% down, and there's a conventional one. So it depends on property type, how much work needs to be put in, if it needs anything substantial like a new roof or anything like that, or if it is more cosmetic based. It is a slightly longer kind of closing turnaround time, but super, super favorable, especially for somebody who may have what we view in this time of HGTV as a distressed property that's sitting on the market for a while, and they're okay with a slightly longer close time of maybe 45 to 60 days. So it's a great option. Movement Mortgage is actually the second largest renovation lender in the United States. So we do a lot of them. We have a whole renovation department that deals specifically in renovation.
That's fantastic. And for me, primarily a listing agent, I would look at that product representing that buyer or that buyer is using very favorably, because I would know that during inspections, they're probably going to say, oh, well, we're going to fix that anyway.
Correct.
So I know that the inspection stage of which is everyone's, the
greatest anxiety.
That would bring or alleviate a lot of the anxiety from the seller.
Absolutely. And what happens is you have appraisals that are done in a couple different stages. So it's and they basically roll in the estimated value of what the home is going to eventually be after all of the upgrades, repairs are completed on the home. So they don't go into it looking like, oh gosh, it's not like a regular appraisal, that they're concerned about the condition of the home, because they know at that point that they already have a bid from a licensed contractor that will allow them to understand what the potential value of the property is going to be.
So let's talk about appraisals, because that's a really big thing in today's market. What we're seeing a lot of for buyers to beat out potential cash offers is for them to sign an appraisal waiver.
Right.
And what that means is that they're saying that if it doesn't appraise for the sales price, they're going to pay cash out of pocket for the difference.
Correct.
So number one, are you seeing a lot of that as well? And number two, are you seeing appraisals come in at asking price, or a lot are still coming in lower than asking price?
I think it's definitely hit and miss as far as what values are where values are concerned. We're seeing kind of maybe the higher price point. Those are the properties that are struggling more often than not, and I would say 500 and above. But that's not necessarily an all the time thing. It is seriously just a hit and miss thing. I'd say that 30% of our appraisals as a whole are coming in below list price. So it's not an alarming amount, and it exists for a reason. One of the biggest indicators of why the housing market that we're in right now won't end in a crash is because we do have appraisal laws in place. And so they are regulating the market for this very purpose, to ensure that we aren't kind of growing or contributing to this bubble. So I'd say overall 30% of appraisals are coming back below market price. And then we are seeing, I'd say probably 40 to maybe 50% of buyers right now.
Okay. They're signing
the appraisal waiver.
Wow. Okay. That's a very significant number. And I'm seeing that as well on the listing side.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple other things, and maybe more on the realtor side, that we want to just chat on this video about that are getting offers. One is the option period. We've seen a lot of buyers either shortening their option period, to 3 to 5 days. Standard is in the past has been, what is standard anymore? In the past has been 7 to 10 days. So either that, and we've also seen people waive their option period altogether.
Correct.
So we've seen a lot more of that lately.
And I would, we always want to get a giant win for our clients, but there is a time to do that, and it's when you absolutely, this is your dream house, this is the property for you, but also if that property is 5 years or younger, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and do that, because it's not going to have as many issues as a property that might be a little bit more mature or older.
I've also seen shortened financing periods as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's possible, especially if you're working with somebody who has possibly pre-approved in the entirety of your file or pre-underwritten your file. Shortening that financing period is really helpful as well.
It's almost, again, it's getting you as close to a cash offer as possible by signing that appraisal waiver, by shortening that financing contingency. It's almost as good as a cash offer. And having a great lender that is already pre-approved, that really increases the seller's confidence in choosing that particular offer. Other things we've seen is earnest money. We've seen double and triple the earnest money amount sometimes. It's a little bit extreme, but again, buyers are desperate to find these properties and to move into their dream home. So we're seeing a lot more people being flexible, these buyers being flexible on the terms.
Main thing is listen to your local lender, listen to your real estate expert. It is their job to put you in the best position, most favorable position to that seller, without leaving too much skin in the game there, to where you could actually lose your earnest money or be hurt on the other side of it.
So again, it's always going to be a case-by-case basis, and we are happy to chat with you about those terms, and your lender is going to be happy to chat with you about the best terms possible for your specific scenario. But these are just in general what we were seeing in the marketplace. So if you need a lender, a great local lender, please reach out to Allison with Movement Mortgage. She's going to be happy to take great care of you. We just financed our personal property with her company, and everything went great. So we completely trust in her and her company. If you have any questions as a buyer or a seller about this particular market, would be happy to help you. So thanks again for joining us, Allison. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you as well.
Have a great week, guys.